It is 7 p.m. on Tuesday, April 6, 2021, and we are going to open the Committee of Committees meeting Committee of Committees meeting. Before we start, just realize we're still under the COVID rules, which means every vote will be done by roll call, and that we are distancing as far as we can here. You do roll call, please.
We have trustees Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Lexinger,
Here.
Dina Simpson is absent, John Christensen here, Jared Doan,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onyebany, I am here, Clerk Sandy Moz is absent, Engineer Matt Hansen,
Here.
and Public Works Supervisor Brett Hill.
Ooh,
Nathan Hill.
Public Works Supervisor,
find them.
oh, Public Works Supervisor
Brett
Brett
Hill.
Berge,
We're both
Hey,
here.
Brett.
and then Parks Supervisor Nathan Hill.
I'm here.
All right, awesome.
All right. Being that everybody's here or not, consider a motion for the minutes.
So moved.
I'll make a motion for the March 2nd, 2021 Committee of Committees minutes.
Second.
Jen moves to approve the March 2nd, 2021 committee meeting minutes. Who second? John seconded. Do roll call, please. First of all, is there any discussion?
Okay, Jen,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Dina's absent, Chris,
Why not?
That's be yes or no?
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Motion passes 7:02. Move on to the report of the officers. I don't think they're here, are they?
oh, but yes, William
Okay.
Finney is
All right, then we will
He's
listen to
on,
the presentation.
the Zoom.
Thank you very much for hosting me tonight. I appreciate your time. So what I would like to talk to you guys about tonight would be, I'm sorry, can you guys hear me?
Hold on a minute, William.
Oh, sure.
This is a company that's proposed bringing new internet to David Junction. They are from surrounding communities farther to the east, and they would like to bring something here, and I told them to get on the agenda to have a chat with you folks. So, sorry, William, didn't mean to cut you off. Please continue.
That's quite all right. Yeah, so we are hoping to bring our service to Davis Junction. Some of you may have heard of us. We are Aircell. We're primarily a fixed wireless broadband internet provider, but we are branching into fiber optic internet. We are building fiber optic currently in Kirkland right now. We just started actually yesterday. So I'd just like to have a couple minutes of your time to talk about who we are and kind of what we're looking to do, and then I'll open up to questions if the board has any. So if I may share my screen, let me see here. I don't know if I have permission to do that.
Mm.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Okay, good. I know.
Oh, host disabled participant screen sharing. Can this be enabled for me?
I am the stand-in. She didn't tell me how to do that.
Stand by.
Well, she's on the phone.
I'm not in a position to give you instructions at this moment.
William, he might know.
Then maybe we should just proceed without the presentation.
We have that option, or we could wait
I'm happy to wait.
a few minutes until we get our clerk back to know how to do this.
Well, we can move on to the committee.
Hey, get closer.
Mm.
You're now 65 inches wide on our screen.
Very good.
Right now.
Oh, he's trying now.
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
William.
All right.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Nicely done.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Nicely done. Just keep. pressing the
So you
buttons.
couldn't do it again if you needed to?
Okay. So my name is William Finney. I'm the manager of business development at Cindy Networks and Aircell. Cindy Networks was founded in 2006 by Amit Patel. We are a regional fiber optic internet provider. We operate a high capacity fiber optic network throughout Northern Illinois. Cindio's primary business is business to business, business to carrier. We do internet for small to medium-sized enterprises, and we do also services for municipalities and even the bigger players like AT&T and Verizon. We service a wide array of consumers, like I mentioned before, small businesses, enterprises, local and state governments, and other telecommunications carriers. We have begun entering the residential market through our subsidiary Aircel. Aircel got its start in 2015 as part of the Fairdale Recovery Program. After the tornado came through Fairdale, they were having a difficult time having critical services brought back to town from the other incumbent providers. We were reached out to by the DeKalb Long-Term Recovery Corporation in order to leverage our fiber optic network to provide internet and voice services to the residents of Fairdale. We did this by constructing a approximately 40 to 50 foot tower and transmitting wirelessly from there to the residents. The service was so popular that we decided that we would spin off our own residential company, Aircel, and start deploying it in other communities. And then in 2021, we started doing fiber to the home. As I mentioned before, Aircel is a fixed wireless broadband provider. We differentiate ourselves a little bit from other fixed wireless broadband providers, if you're familiar with them, like maybe Rise or T6. We build fiber optic internet cables to our tower. So that allows us to get you most of the benefits of fiber, but with far less deployment costs. We get high upload speeds. Our fixed wireless service is symmetrical, so the upload and download speeds are the same, which you really don't see in the residential space. And then for our higher packages, our uploads have a minimum of 100 meg. This is especially important today with a lot of remote work from home. These Zoom calls, they do take up a significant amount of upload bandwidth. And what you'll see with traditional providers is that, if you have a download speed of X, your upload speed might be, 1/10 of X. But we want to make sure that our customers have plenty of bandwidth in both directions so that they're able to interact and operate on the internet as it exists today, where you have a lot more reciprocation as far as the data that's being shared. We also differentiate ourselves from other providers. We don't have throttling or data caps, so the service really is unlimited. If you use a lot of bandwidth, we're not going to slow you down to a crawl, and we're not going to cut you off or charge you an extra charge or an overage fee. We found that deploying Aircel in communities has an impact not just for our customers, but for people who even aren't our customers. We do this by disrupting the local market by providing higher speeds at lower cost than the traditional providers. And so what you will see is that market competition forces other carriers to improve their offerings or lose market share to us. Today we operate around DeKalb County, and we're slowly spreading outside of that. We have major market presences in Hinckley, Shabana, Malta, Fairdale, Kirkland. We're also starting in Leland and Mendota as well. Just some reviews from some customers. We have a very happy customer base, and I'm sure once we're able to start deploying services in Davis Junction, we'll have a similar reception. Going forward, we're going to continue to support and develop our fixed wireless, specifically targeting underserved communities. Our goal here is to bring these services where there is a need. It helps us because competition is lower, and it helps the residents because they're able to get a quality provider, which is sorely lacking in a lot of rural communities in Northern Illinois. And then specifically, we're going to be investing a lot more in the fiber to the home in our existing markets and to new markets. So for Davis Junction specifically, we don't have a plan necessarily set in stone yet, but we were looking at maybe doing this in kind of a phased deployment. Phase one, we would deploy fixed wireless broadband off of the water tower. Fixed wireless broadband is quick to deploy, it has a very large initial coverage area, and would help us establish our name as a quality provider in the community. And then what we would do is kind of to backfill from behind there, once we were to reach a certain saturation level, would be to come in and build fiber to the home. Fiber to the home, fiber to the business is really the best internet service available in the country at this time, really in the world. Another benefit of the fiber to the home is low congestion. There is, so much bandwidth available on these fiber strands that we don't see, the typical, 7 p.m. slowdown that you sometimes see with other providers. So I would like to open up for questions. So I know this was kind of a broad presentation, but basically what we're looking to do is to come to an agreement with with Davis Junction in order to, get access to the water tower so that we can begin transmitting services, and then, to work with the village in order to plan out and then begin deploying fiber to the home.
I'll start off. John Talbot. What other communities are you in where you're, like I say, on their water tower, or I guess on other public entities where we could just maybe review the relationship that you have with
absolutely.
communities?
We're on the Kirkland Water Tower, and we are on the Leland Water Tower. Our other communities we serve off of private Grain Lake.
I mean, the reason for the question is if other providers in different scenarios, we've had issues that even to this date, we have not been, able to resolve. So I think.
Yeah, I would encourage you to reach out to Ryan Block. He is the village president of Kirkland. In fact, anyone from Kirkland. And then as far as Leland, I don't have a lot of interaction with their board, but I do a lot of work with Chief Bragg. And I'm sure between Ryan and Chief Bragg, they would be happy to give you a nice review of us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have anything further? All right, we'll move on. Thank you, William.
Sure. Just real quick to wrap up, I guess, so I guess next steps would be we would want to send the board a draft tower agreement, lease agreement for your review. And then, we would also need to find out, who is on your water tower currently, if you do have fixed wireless providers, and, what agreements you have with them to make sure that, that we're able to operate in the same space. Yeah. So I can have that sent over sometime this week if you'd like.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Sure.
Who else did we have on the water tower? Fixed wireless? I thought we had somebody, right?
T6.
I don't know what they are. No.
LR.
No, ours is, yeah.
And Verizon sort of on the wall.
Well, yeah, but they're not.
Well, it's funny because they go back that Verizon always said they were going to try and market it for the internet as well, because they have internet, boxes that you put in your home and the router that they can run it out of. But they've never even made an effort for doing that.
Well, Frontier offers in our community the box that you can go either way. No, I say Frontier offers something similar to what you're talking.
But it's through Frontier now.
But yeah, so that might be why they've decided to
Through
estimate.
telephone or what?
It does both.
I mean, Verizon's got about the best access you could want,
Oh, God. As far as service.
but they've also usually have a price to go with it.
And a bitter taste in your.
All right, are you prepared to do the clerk stuff, Brenda, or are we gonna wait for her to get back?
No, I don't know what she has. We'll wait till she gets here.
I should say to get here and attend. All right, then we will, we can doodle on here while you're with that. Human resources? Treasurer?
I have nothing.
All right, here's the long one. Village engineer.
Everybody.
All right. Actually, not too much tonight. The North Junction Road, seal coating, blacktop, and whitening project, they had the bid opening on the 24th. William Charles was the low bidder at $253,432.50, which was below our estimate of $371,000. So I will save the rest under Chris for the award of that. Aaron was off the end of last week when I put this together, talked to him today, and the microsurfacing project and the Junction Way street reconstruction, those projects are going to be put on hold till at least next year. No activity, nothing with Edson Road culvert. That's going to be more emergency based. Nothing on the 72 sidewalk project. Nothing with the water tower painting project till this fall when we do the inspection. And then the Village Hall assessment, I think Alan got you a updated site option for Village Hall location at Moody, and it should be typo there, it should be 72 instead of 64, as discussed at last month's meeting. So hopefully you've got that new location kind of layout and everything from them. And then I see he's got the Village Hall plans underneath there. I did talk to Sandy and she said that was more, I didn't know, she said that Alan didn't need to be here for tonight. It was more board discussion if they were going to discuss anything with it or.
Sounds good. It's just another location, right? The same
It's,
thing.
yep, it's just really another location, that site, and with the updated, cost estimates, is it up there, Rick?
The form that they've provided is very nice, professional. I want to see all the, whatever these are, 12 or 15 different options on an Excel sheet that I can compare
Okay,
dollars
yep,
in line versus scrolling through all this.
yep, no, that's fine.
Finance guy wants the dollars.
We'll get it summarized. Bill.
Sandy's in
I-
attendance, Sandy Moss is in attendance at 7:17.
But I believe the work that he just did does meet what we were asking for.
Okay, good. But we'll get a summary of all the options with the total project cost, so it's a kind of an easy comparison for you.
Maybe the design option.
Yep.
broken down per location option that we
Yep.
were reviewing, yeah.
I think really just that other option that they're looking at, it's really the same kind of configurations, the 3 configurations Alan was looking at the other site, and just adding really the parking lot and stuff for the Village Hall there. I think with all the sites, it looks like, getting Village Hall faced out towards 72 or towards 72 with the parking behind. And then probably the biggest thing with this obviously is the detention right there is already built into the site. So it's the drainage part of it's going to be a little bit easier.
Any further?
Nope.
Any questions for Matt?
Will that, you're talking drainage over here, you're referring to the
Yep,
dock. Okay, will that pond handle that?
Yeah, I
That
think
restriction?
Yeah, I think the pond was originally designed for the whole, when they developed the however many acres that the village owns out there, it was built for all the lots and everything. So basically, you're not gonna have individual detention on each one of those sites, and stuff. They'll just get to that one common
I'll go to
detention
that
area.
one drain.
Yeah,
The
that one
only-
detention.
The only reason I asked that question is we've had a couple of events already since that detention pond has been in, and the water has actually been to the top of the berm.
Okay,
So that's the only reason I'm asking that question is what the design for that drainage would be. So that would be a concern of mine.
okay.
So.
I'd like to just step in. So I missed about 30 seconds of the conversation when I was transferring over, but the request had been from the board that we see if that same layout from the wastewater treatment plant would fit on this lot, still allow for an entranceway that is acceptable to IDOT and still work within the drainage easement or the drainage pond that's already there. And it seems to meet all of those requirements by keeping, and the same dollar amounts, I believe, are listed on there. Alan said he didn't anticipate a large change in dollar amounts because the building's the same. We just put it on a new lot.
There's slight modifications, which you were, right before you walked.
Yeah, that
in,
might have been the 30 seconds.
I
missed
asked
out
him
on.
to put all these options on an Excel sheet that are
Okay.
comparable.
Do you want all the options or just the 3 options for lot 1?
No, the
He said all
design, the
15.
designs on the
Yep.
3 different lots.
Okay.
Yep.
All designs on the 3 different lots.
Okay.
Yep,
so I'll
all
compare.
the options.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll pull the old drainage calculations when we did it and just see what it was designed for, release rate and everything like that, just to kind of see.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, anything further from Matt or to Matt? All right, then we'll move on. Back to the clerk.
I have two things for discussion. The first one is the annual fee ordinance. We have approved an increase in our water rates and sewer rates of a quarter every January 1st. However, that did not account for those who we just charge sewer to because they're still on wells. And so why everybody else's rate was still increasing, those on just sewers were not. So you'll see there's a red line section in the annual fee ordinance that essentially gives the same rate increase to the sewer only customers on January 1st of each year. It does start May 1st of this year as a makeup for what we've missed out on the last two raises to put us where we are now. Are there any questions on that? Is it okay if I stick it on the consent agenda next week?
Absolutely.
That's fine.
And then the second thing for discussion is, as you guys know, when we did the water tower project last year, we had to take down the internet connection between the concession stand and the anything. So the concession stand has had no internet access, which makes it hard for to work the lights out there, to run concession stands, to work the doors. Everything has to be done manually right now. So I did receive 2 quotes for to connect the concession stand to the Public Works building, which is a direct line of sight. The one that's in the packet that I received in time is from Showtime Installations, right there. And that quote is actually for 2 things. It's to connect the concession stand back to the internet and also connect the well 2 to this building. However, I'm not interested in doing that at this point. So in talking to Showtime Installations, the amount to just do concessions to Public Works would be $4,200 plus the $1,000 to rent the lift. So I'm looking at $5,200 to connect the internet back from Public Works to the concession stand. When we had previously asked Fisocnik to do it, it was like $8,000. And that was to put our existing equipment on. This is for new equipment. I also reached out to LR Communications and I received their quote today. Their quote is about $7,500 for just the concession stands to the Public Works. I'd like to move forward with getting that connected because now that we have people in the park, we really need that internet connection back.
This is for
active.
both.
This is, but
Yeah.
if you guys approve the, what did I say, 52?
Just the concession stand.
Just the concession stand. So if you guys are okay with the 5,200, I'll get a revised quote and stick it on the consent agenda.
Will
for
that
next
give
week.
us permanent internet to the concession stand?
Yes,
So can we do one of 2 things? Get rid of the cellular device that's running the cash register
yes,
and run that off of Wi-Fi?
yes.
Can we put up a Wi-Fi signal for the residents while they're there? Would that work off that?
Nate's shaking his head, yes.
I don't see why not. Yeah, we could have if you wanted to put a Wi-Fi hotspot, we could.
Security folks first.
Yeah, let's do some security work and make sure.
Make sure we're not gonna do the back door.
There currently is a Wi-Fi hotspot there that's being provided by LR Communications as a benefit to the community since we've gone remote. And so I anticipate that that would still remain.
Well, that would be fine if it's them provided.
Yeah, let them take the.
Yeah, and LR has provided it since they went to remote learning at the school district. But
Excellent.
is everybody okay with me
Yes.
getting a revised quote for 5,200 and sticking it in the consent
Why would we not
agenda?
want to do the well building?
So the reason I'm holding off on the well is, one, I've also asked LR for the same quote, but I've also asked LR for a hardwire quote. And so they are currently working with a company in which to drill a wire from here to well 2 to get a more stable connection. Same reason we're doing it at wastewater. We wouldn't have to upgrade equipment all the time and everything else. So I just want to know what the difference is before I'm willing to move forward on that.
Then I would not want to move forward on this until I get that answer.
We can't go any longer without internet at the concessions. There's no ball lights, there's no bathroom doors, there's nothing out there.
Can't they be turned on manually?
Yes, but that would mean an employee has to go out there every time at the end of the day to lock them and everything else.
2 hours.
In the end, might cost us more than the $5,200 you're trying to save. Just saying. Employees are expensive. No,
I'm comfortable with just.
Something we'll do is separate.
I'm good with the $5,200 too. It's up to you guys.
Do you need me to keep it separate from the consent agenda? No, you're okay with it? All right,
Ben?
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Jared?
all All right, then I'll go ahead and obtain a revised quote and stick it in the consent agenda for next week. As I said, as soon as I get the hardwire quote, you will see this again for connection to well 2. I'm uncomfortable asking for that right now without knowing what all of our options are. And then the only other thing is, as you can see, this room has changed. I'm still working on it. Took a little bit longer than we thought, but I do want to give a huge thank you to both Nate Hill and Brett Fergie and their entire crew for working really hard for the last week to try and get these carpet squares in and moving furniture and everything else and painting and sanding. And no, it's been
Very nice, Sandy. Looks very nice,
Yeah,
Brett,
it's-
and the guys, Nate.
it's been
Very
an
nice.
undertaking, but we got it done.
I didn't know if I'd like the blue, but I do like the blue.
I do like it.
All right, that's all I had.
It's definitely not dirty or cold.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to reports of the committees, community development and events.
In the packet was the draft resolution approving our contract with the fireworks. RKM Fireworks for our July 3rd display. Anybody have any questions on that contract?
What did it cost this year?
The 16,000.
The
Isn't that what it
Yeah,
was last?
Same.
616 is
last
what
year.
the budget is.
Isn't that what it was last year?
Yes.
Same about 3
Yeah.
years now.
It's
Mhm.
3 or 4 years it's been that, yeah, 16
Pay 16.
Same company, right?
as last year.
Mhm. No question. If there's no questions, I guess, can we put that on the consent agenda? Are you good with that, Nate? Putting it on the consent agenda?
Yep,
And,
that's fine.
and the other thing I have is discussion on just starting the farmer's market back up. I've had some calls from vendors and stuff wanting to, actually food vendors wanting to get their schedules situated. And they had asked if, it was gonna wait till July or if I could start earlier. I would like us to start earlier.
Mhm.
Some of them had talked about May. I don't know if we could get it going with other vendors, because I've been in talks with some people that are want to do crafts to do their own little tables this year. So I'm kind of shooting for June, and I was thinking like first and third Wednesdays, since we do it every 2 weeks. And I just figured if we could say first and third Wednesdays of the month are a lot easier to say than
Yeah,
every 2 weeks.
yes, it is. I think it's a lot easier for advertising too, so
Yeah.
that we don't confuse people.
Right. So I don't know if anybody has any input or any questions on, or have anybody that wants to do a table. Jared, for Julie to sell her baked goods.
Maybe. Are you wanting some of her baked goods?
Well, I'm stalking people who are doing things and they're putting it out there and they're selling it. I'm like, come down to the farmer's market. Come down to the farmer's market.
So first and third Tuesdays?
Wednesdays, first and third Wednesdays. So that's all I have. And I'm still reaching out, trying to find some music and
Busking.
or people who want to.
Can I run with those days to finish the farmer's market
Yes,
packets? And then we'll
yes,
get them
that
on
would
the
be great.
website? All right.
That would be great.
Sorry, what month does it start?
I'm shooting for June. Start the first Wednesday in June. So reaching out to all the food contacts. I've had some call and hopefully get some new ones and we roll with it. But that's all I have.
All right, finance?
No, I have none.
We have none.
Ordinance enforcement?
Nothing at this time.
Parks?
Nate, did you have anything this evening?
Yeah, we just had, we followed up with Graham and they made all the changes that Dan had suggested to the contract. So we could proceed with signing that. And to follow back up with, I think Billy's question and Dina's question from last month about timing. I talked to Jason and he said that the completion of the master plan will be a top priority for them. And he said they could get something back to us within a couple of months. And then the cost relative to, for the pond design and engineering, they said typically their engineering fees run between 7 and 9% of the construction cost. And so they, as an example, they had a $700,000 pond project, and the engineering fees were about $60,000. So, his comment was, I think it will be on the low end of about 7%. So I wanted to answer those questions from the last meeting, last time we met. So yeah, they agreed to all the changes that Dan had said. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks for getting that answered.
Is
Thank
everybody okay if it goes on the consent agenda next week?
Yes.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have something.
Ooh,
Glenda.
hang on, Glenda. Get through the committees, we'll get down to public. Anything further, John?
No. Thank you.
Streets,
As Matt said,
public. No, we're not there yet.
we back to street.
Streets,
As Matt said, we got the bid back and it was considerably lower than what we had anticipated, so it won't cost us as much. And I'm sure that could be on the consent agenda too, right, Sandy?
Can you move your microphone close? I'm struggling to hear you through the speaker.
I'm struggling to speak through the mask, sorry.
That's okay.
Struggle's real.
We can put approval of the where is it, of the bid, acceptance of the bid on the agenda or what?
Mm-hmm.
everybody okay with it being on the consent agenda?
Yes.
The only other thing I have is our license agreement with the Ogle Crossings HOA. We sent them the last draft, which is, we discussed in this committee the last time, and that was our final draft. So we sent it to them in a PDF, and their attorney sent it back to me with more changes, since I told them, basically speaking, that it was becoming too costly of a process, and this was a fair agreement, and that we'd like them to sign and return it as soon as possible. I haven't heard back from them unless Sandy has.
I have not.
Yeah. So we're waiting to see, and I just wanted to keep the board informed on that. Other than that, I don't think there is much for streets. Fergie?
You want,
Yeah,
Give it a help.
I just leave the truck.
I just
We
wanted
do
to-
have our,
Yeah.
yeah, we do have the truck now, the new truck that we were gonna purchase, plow truck, the big one. We finally have it, and we're still working on getting it right. That's it for me, unless you have anything else.
all good.
All right, move on to utilities.
I guess that's me.
Dina's absence.
Dean's, yes. As you can see, we've got 3 different quotes here for the effluent flow meter. That I'm thinking that's probably still original to the plant, possibly, Matt. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong here, but
yep.
so it's done its time. And this is for the purchase of the actual meter and the installation, calibration, all of it. So it's the full package. And I believe that Vortex came in.
Yep, it's the last quote in the packet, which is from Vortex,
Yes.
but it's still a Siemens.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still the same brand that we would like to see for the meter, but it is the last quote in there.
Yep.
Any questions, or can we stick it on the consent agenda for next week?
I just have a question about the other portion. Where are we with, you know what, never mind.
The SCADA project?
Yes.
Bid opening is Monday, the 12th.
All right, thank you.
This thing jumps in size. Anything further?
No, thank you.
All right. Move on. Anything on unfinished business? All's on our sidewalks?
Yeah, I did receive our proposed policy back from Mark for Fergie has been busy working in here, so I've not had an opportunity to speak with him. So hopefully by the time we reach this committee meeting next month, we will have something ready for you guys.
Okay. So we don't have economic development on here for some reason, but just to inform you guys, Matt and I met with Stenstrom. They have some ideas on how to market their property to the north of the current strip mall. So they're gonna be approaching the other landowner out there about working together, putting in a road if they find something that they can develop it with.
That's not gonna be the crematorium again.
No. That actually, they own that land back again. We came up with some ideas on how to market that other lot that's out on 72 about moving the drainage over in front of the existing strip mall instead of over at that where they were trying to put Casey's. Also had a call from a realtor on a RADAC project that they're looking at getting 80 acres. So they're looking at the back half of the Turner property as a possible site for that, for vertical farming. And then the grocery store gentleman contacted me, and they are definitely still interested. So we'll be pursuing that. Send them the maps with what we own and then what's available, so they can contact who owns it if they're interested.
What's Radek?
Rockford Area Economic Development.
Oh,
Council.
all right, sorry.
And then actually just had another current business owner the other day approach me about building another strip mall. So we'll see where that goes. He told me he's going to go through Glenda's committee. Anybody have anything else on economic development?
So I typically don't stick it on these, but with all these things going on, do you want it on every
Please,
agenda?
because we are in that time of the year.
Yeah.
Where things are going to grow. There's nothing else on that. We'll move to public. Glenda?
Yeah, I was just wondering financially, is building the new village hall going to affect getting the pond repaired?
No, William does not anticipate that we will end up with Village Hall for within the next 3 to 5 years, whereas the pond is a more immediate financial expenditure. Correct, William?
The pond is an emergency that needs to be rectified before Village Hall. Yes.
So one come before the other.
That was what I was wondering, is if the pond was a priority.
100% absolutely, in my opinion, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Or we'll flood the park.
Hey, no.
Don't want to do that again.
Not,
Bill?
not intentionally.
Not
I'm
intentional.
sorry, Bill, I didn't anticipate public tonight, so you'll have to use this microphone here to speak.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
These numbers that I have are only preliminary. They are not accurate. They are not final numbers. They still are in a process that has to be completed by the election people and the county. Rick, 278, Jared, 79. Bill, 223, Chris, 292, and Moss, 237. Congratulations, everybody. Like I
Who's
say,
Chris?
Who's Chris?
That'd be you.
Jen Christensen is what he meant to say.
Hey, just checking.
Anyway,
But you gotta speak into the mic.
thank you for a chance to speak. I've got it's a work night for me. That's why I'm dressed like this night. I got some pressing issues to take care of, but congratulations and thank you, everybody.
We'll be in touch when it's time to come up.
Yep, I ran into him outside of the
Yeah.
polling place.
What's that, May 11th at
Told him
what,
May
7
11th
o'clock?
here. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Anything further from public?
No, sir.
Anything further from any of the board members?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
John makes a motion to adjourn. Chris seconds. Roll call, please. Bye, Nate.
Jared,
Yeah.
John,
Yes.
Dina is absent. Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
The time, sir?
It is 7:40 and we are adjourned.